Oh, am I live? Okay. Yes, looks like it's working. Yeah, no, I almost missed that because I forgot. I've got to set up the whole thing before I just go live. Anyway, let me just quick check since no one's here. I'll quick check what everyone's doing. All right, goody. Ah, what was that? Alrighty. Oh, who's here? Hello. So yeah, here I am, super exhausted. It looks like I'm in PJs, but I'm also in comfy pants, so I'm like in half pajamas. Let me know if the sound's okay and all that. Oh man, I'm so tired. I haven't been sleeping well the last little while. Maybe it's the humidity. It's been super weird weather in Sydney because we've got the whole La Nina thing, which means summer is going to be, very damp. Not too hot, but very humid, and that's no fun. Devil Boom. Hello. Hello. I don't recognize your name. This is hello and welcome to my crazy land. I don't know if you've been watching a lot or just randomly popped up, but hey. So yeah, just starting with a recap of why I'm exhausted. Yeah, haven't been sleeping well lately. Could be the weather. It should be summer, but I have my blanket still on my bed. Like that, it gets cold. Like I could, because of the humidity, I could just sleep with like a sheet. But then sometimes in the middle of the night, I wake up like really cold. So then I can't sleep. But then if I put the blanket on, after a while, I heat up too much and then I can't sleep and I wake up and all that. So past few days, not sleeping well. That's the, first thing. And then last night, there was a storm like right around bedtime, so the dogs were freaking out and I had to comfort Hopi a bit. And then I thought that was fine, but at about 4 a.m. this morning, about 3:45 this morning, I wasn't sleeping very well, so I rolled over and checked the time, and then a few minutes later the smoke alarm went off, the fire alarm. Like it always has to do it at night, doesn't it, just to mess with you. So it was going me me me, and then it went quiet. But then I told the boys to change the batteries a few days ago, and I think all they did was check it and assume it was okay, but I guess not. I don't know. They didn't keep the instructions, so we can't actually tell what the beeps mean. And I can't be bothered to look it up because I don't know what the model number is. But anyway, so that was at 4 o'clock this morning, and it went on and on and on, just like looking after the dogs again because it's so loud and the little ears just hurt. So there was that. And then I had to wake up early this morning, like, just as I was starting to get nice sleep. 7 o'clock, my alarm goes off because I had to go to my bonsai job. Thank God the traffic is really nice at the moment. Combination of pandemic and just the holidays. So yeah, traffic was like I left about 20 minutes later than I would normally leave and still got there on time. Yeah. But so then I worked all day and, we were doing a lot of repotting of starter plants. And it's just like, it's easy because, they're just starter plants. It's not like a full-on, 100-year-old bonsai that you might kill. It's like they're just starter plants. And it's kind of hard to get them wrong. And it was mostly weeding, not even repotting unless they really needed it. But yeah, it's a sort of repetitive kind of thing, and it's physical. And I did use quite a bit of soil, so I had to go out and actually shovel it. And if you look at the size of me, imagine me shoveling, and there's only so much I can carry in one go, and then awkwardly with the wheelbarrow. And yeah, so there's that. But I think also maybe last night didn't sleep so well because I was mixing, and my brain was just sort of going over the mix. And my mixing setup for music is really not great. It's just like I've got my Mac And then haven't even been using my monitors because this screen sort of interferes with the sound a bit. I probably need to get like a shielded cable for them, speaker cable. I thought they would have included decent enough cables, but I guess not. So yeah, I tried to like get them out of the way, but there's still some interference. So I just don't like using them. And I don't know what this screen does exactly to interfere with it, but yeah. So I've mostly been mixing on headphones, which is not ideal, obviously. And then even if I use my studio monitors, because I don't listen to music on them, like just for fun. I'm not used to the sound of them, so I have to take my music. Like once I finish the mix and think it's okay, I have to take it from my Mac and put it onto my PC, and then use the speakers because I can't be bothered to unplug the speakers into the new thing. Hello, I'm just going over my why I'm exhausted and going on a music tangent, which is not what I really meant to talk about in this. But anyway, we will continue. So yeah, my mixing process. I mix it on the MacBook Pro from 2009, which is still working fine. It's still running Snow Leopard. Mix it on the headphones, and then I take it over to my PC and listen to it on the speakers, which I am very familiar with. Like they're not mixing speakers, but because I know them so well, it's just an easy, like it's a reference speaker, I guess. Yeah, if I'm trying to sound fancy, that's how I use them. Yeah, but and so that's obviously like not fun because it takes me like 5 goes usually. Like the last few covers I've done, although some are easier than others, but like the last few covers maybe get up to about 5 mixes before I'm happy with it, and even then, who even knows? Because like when you're mixing for ages, your brain gets confused, your ears get tired, your ears get confused. And then when I'm going from one thing to another, I think my computer speakers are a bit more bass heavy and less clear. Like I can hear like everything on these and almost everything on the monitors, except I don't have a subwoofer. So I don't have a subwoofer for my monitors, my studio monitors. Yeah, so you hear all these details, but when you bring it over to speakers, the frequency profile is different and it changes. And it's just like sometimes my brain gets stuck in studio land, and then when I listen to computer land sound, it just like it can't figure it out anymore. And so like it's like painting. So if you guys remember, like last year I basically gave up painting, partly because like I sit there and I'm painting and it looks like shit for ages and ages and ages, and I sit there like fixing every little mistake in it, and I'm just like and so I go away and then I come back and look at it. I'm like, oh, actually it's not that bad. It's a bit like that with mixing, I've realized. Although music's a bit more fun, like because you can get into it and stuff. Like I don't really enjoy the process of mixing, which is probably why I didn't go on to be an audio engineer. Like I probably could have, but there's a lot of work. But also this mixing thing, my brain just gets stuck and I have to go away and come back. And I know they say that in uni anyway, but it's just annoying that I have to go and reset my brain so I can even hear what's going on. So hopefully I got another cover. Maybe it'll come out on Friday morning. That's the plan so far. We will see. Yeah, hopefully the mix is okay. Because today it sounds all right, although I didn't turn the volume up, so maybe later on I'll have a listen to it with louder volume. But I think at this point I think I'm done mixing it, and I tried some different things with it this time. I don't know that it will be that noticeable, but hey, it makes certain things like that. It's a crazy cover where I'm using all kinds of different vocal techniques and only on one microphone. So I tried some things to make, when you try and mix everything with the same setting, it's just like, it's a nightmare. Especially I really feel like this microphone is not the right microphone for growling, like it's fine for clean vocals. I think it's nice, but for growling, it doesn't sound right to me. But anyway, so when I'm jumping between a lot of techniques, sometimes there's like frequencies and stuff. And I've noticed when I do growling versus head voice. In the waveform, the head voice will look like it's softer than the growl, but when I'm listening, I hear the head voice, like the clean vocal. It's almost piercing, even though technically it's not as loud. And I'm just like, how does that work? So I've done some things to try and fix that. Hopefully, those high notes aren't too annoying. Anyway, so 10 minutes. What was I talking about? I think the music stuff might be part of why I couldn't sleep last night, because my brain was processing stuff. But on the other hand, maybe it was processing stuff because I wasn't sleeping. Like, which one came first, or is it all just it feels really, I'm going to turn the aircon on. It's not hot, it's just humid. And like, that's as annoying. I thought, oh, the temperatures aren't too bad lately. Maybe I don't need to have the aircon, but no, I do. I've got on dehumidify mode. Yeah, anyway, so I haven't been sleeping well lately. There was that storm last night, had to comfort the dogs. Then there was the fire alarm, had to comfort the dogs again. And also just waking up at 4 a.m. And then I had bonsai. And yeah, I'm pretty tired at this point. That's probably why I can't figure out what I'm saying. But on the other hand, do I ever know what I'm saying? Not really. All right, so the channel kind of thing. I've been thinking a lot about that. And I feel like I should have written notes, but yeah, no, thinking about my channel, and I guess the first thing, they're letting you go back to it. Yeah, the main outbreak in Sydney, I mean, New South Wales outbreaks are weird because, we have a lot of them, but the health department seems to jump on them pretty fast, and so they don't really spread as much as you would think. Like, there should be heaps, like they publish where these infected people have been. There's so many places they've been, but yeah, no, not that many people catching it. I think because like they keep saying, okay, if you've been here and here and here, you have to isolate for 14 days. So there's literally thousands of people who are just staying home for 2 weeks. And I think that's a big part of why it's not spreading, is they know where they've been and they tell everyone else who went there to just stay put. So yeah, it seems to be working. I think like the start of the current outbreak seemed a little bit, it is, hey, yeah, the start of the current outbreak seemed like it was going to be crazy because it went from like 1 person to 17 to something like 38 in one day. And we were like, oh my God, it's doubling. But from the very first case, they're like, okay, everyone who's been here, you have to stay home. And then thousands of people got tested. Like, we hit our record was something like 60,000 people, when we usually get like, well, for a while we were getting 20,000, and then it had dropped right down to 5,000 people testing every day. So it went all the way up to 60,000. I think that was a number. Yeah, all these people got tested. I think they said something like 43% maybe of the North Shore got tested. Like, that's, sorry, the northern beaches. Is it the whole northern beaches or just the northern part of the northern beaches? I don't know, but like 40% of the hotspot area got tested over how many days is crazy. So a lot of people got tested and then just stayed home. And then there was the lockdowns, not in my area, but all the way up north. And that seems to have slowed it down. It has spread to some other places, but I think everyone is a bit on edge. So people are mostly doing what they're supposed to. There's only a handful of nutcases who, keep going wherever and spreading stuff. So yeah, no, Sydney's fine, really. We have to wear masks indoors now, but that's fine because I was doing that anyway. I'm glad it's not like a 40-degree summer. Although the humidity at one point today, I was just like, oh, should I really be wearing a fluffy mask? But I don't think a regular, surgical mask would have made any difference. I think my face was always just going to feel bad at one point during today. Yeah, anyway. So yeah, there's like places listed as hotspots, and I haven't been to any of them because I don't have much of a life at the moment. So yeah, that's fine. Um, yeah, Sydney's not doing too bad, so I can go to work. Um, we've got QR codes everywhere, so like even coming to my work, I thought it was just hospitality and like that kind of place where you had to have a QR code, but we've got one just in case. I think they said now you have to have them everywhere. I don't know, but we have one. I signed in when I got to work. I'm pretty sure everyone knows that I'm there anyway, but now it's official and the business won't get fined in case that is a thing that we need to be doing. Um, yeah, so we've got everything sorted. We have no QR code. Well, I mean, it's just a sign in. So places you go, you before they were letting people just have a paper version, but then like you've got to sanitize the pens constantly. So that's why they've done the QR code and you just get your phone and you scan it. And now it has to be the New South Wales specific QR code. You're not allowed to use your own version anymore, because they were having trouble getting details from some of these companies that put out QR codes. Yeah. And the interesting thing for me is like we have the COVID Safe app. And when that came out, I mean, there was about 6 million of us who downloaded it pretty quickly. But there were a lot of people who just went into instant paranoia mode, like, oh, the government's tracking where I'm going, which is not how it works. It works based on Bluetooth. And that can't really track where you're going. And the only thing it records is like who you've been close to for a certain amount of time. Which isn't much information, and I feel like they should have collected more, like instead of just having it at that threshold. I don't know. Anyway, people were heaps paranoid. Oh, the government's going to know where I'm going, and that was the federal government's app. But now we have these QR codes where businesses, like any business you go to, I think now, I haven't been out to anywhere apart from work, so I don't know exactly where this applies, but it definitely applies in like restaurants, hospitality type stuff. You sign in and you give your name, your number, and what I think that's all it is. Your name, your number, and how many people you're with, how many dependents you have, which I have none. Yeah, and like it's state government, but now the state government knows where you've been anyway. So and no one's really blinking. Not in the same way as when, oh, I don't want to have the government's app on my phone. Well, now the government will know where you've been anyway. And the other thing is, one of the reasons they brought in the QR code is because the other ones weren't working. They want to be able to trace people better when they're like when they've been around someone who's been infected. In some places where they don't seem to have had good records before this new rule came in, they're using loyalty cards and credit cards to, asking banking institutions who made a transaction here on this day. They're looking at CCTV. There's so many ways that they, like, if you're participating in modern society, you can't help but be tracked. Like, if you don't want to be tracked, if you want privacy, go live in the middle of nowhere. Like if you want modern conveniences, you kind of just have to accept that. And like, I don't know, I guess me being a YouTube nut, I don't care, because like my life is, hey guys, here's my life, and here's the off the top of my head ramble. So I guess I'm not a good person to talk about privacy because I kind of don't give a shit. There's a few things that I would feel awkward about, but in the end, I'd just be like, yeah, whatever, fuck it. Yeah, so I don't know. I guess like it's just not something that I can really relate to. And I think it's kind of paranoid, and especially in Australia, because Australian government doesn't really care what a lot of that stuff. I don't know. Maybe there's like some more authoritarian governments where you wouldn't want them knowing all that stuff and controlling you, but then they're controlling you anyway. So blah, 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 blah. Yeah, no, Australia has a lot of good stuff going on in terms of controlling outbreaks. Victoria fell on its face, but in New South Wales, we're doing okay, like surprisingly. We keep thinking like, okay, after Christmas, there'll be a spike. No. After New Year's, there'll be a spike. Round about now, we should be noticing that, but it's not that bad. at the moment. The next the next test will be the cricket match, which I think is tomorrow, and they're letting 10,000 people go. We'll see how we get out of that one. There's a lot of skepticism, and the restrictions going on that keep going up and up and up. But yeah, no, maybe they are on top of it. I don't know. Remember New Year's and Christmas lights? That's the Netherlands, so it doesn't sound like you're having fun there. Anyway, what? We're 20 minutes in. I think I said in the description I was going to talk about channel planning stuff. So, but I'm a bit tired to actually think of stuff. But I think the main thing is I need to try and live stream more consistently. Live streaming seems to be the thing that most people want, or at least most people who actually write and tell me what they want. They keep saying do live streams. So here I am trying to get into the habit. And yeah, I guess they can kind of replace just random vlogging because, I mean, like if I need to record something quickly, like just a random vlog's okay. But I think when I'm just sort of blabbity-blabbity-blying, people prefer in the live stream format. So we can try that, and I'll maybe save proper videos for stuff that actually needs a bit of editing. We'll see how we go with that. But yeah, if I can get more consistent at live streaming, then people will actually know when I'm going to be online, because I know I've been really bad at telling people when I'm going to be here. And then I'll finish this stream and people are like, damn, why didn't you tell us? And I mean, I did put a community tab post last night, but it was a bit vague, and I just didn't have the energy to set up a scheduling. Yeah, but I should try to live stream more often. I'm thinking this sort of like Wednesday, 8 p.m. Sydney time works pretty well for me. I've gotten into a better pattern with the family. So they tend to watch TV in the other room at certain times of day, which means they're not going to walk in on me. And it's not just Wednesdays, it's like every day, really. So I could really live stream any day during those times, but I think Wednesday works well because, like, after bonsai, I'm so tired that I can't really do much else. And I know I should be all like energetic and stuff when I'm on camera. But the thing is, if I have a lot of energy, if I stumble over my words, it's because I'm tired. But I think that's more amusing, right? See, that's one of the things about me being tired doing a live stream is, my guard's down. I might say weird stuff. I have to talk off the top of my head. My brain might have a malfunction and I might just say like, yeah, whatever. I don't even know. So that's one thing about doing it on a Wednesday night. But the other thing is, if I have energy and if I am concentrating well, I should be doing other things, like other things that actually really need my focus. I think live streaming, if I'm a bit of a nutcase, like you guys are cool with that. But say like if I need to be mixing, like I do have some stuff to finish off. I've got some video editing to finish off. There's no way I can concentrate on that right now, but I have just enough brain power to turn on my sound thing and turn on my camera and get on YouTube and live stream. So that's my reasoning for why maybe Wednesdays 8 p.m. Do I do it every week or every second week? At this point, I don't know, but I think this time of day, this day of the week, is like a good thing. And then if I live stream at other times, well, I guess that's bonus for the people in time zones that don't match up very nicely. So in terms of channel planning, more live streaming. I'll try that. I mean, I assume that's what the people want, but if there's someone out there who's one of the quiet people who would prefer something else, well, the only way you're going to get it is if you tell me. There's no guarantee you'll get it, But if you don't tell me, you won't. It's a bit like if you want to win the lottery, you have to buy a lotto ticket. So if you want me to make a video, you have to leave a comment. Otherwise, I don't know what you want and I'll just do my own thing, which I do anyway, but you might give me an idea. That's what I'm trying to get at, I think. Who even knows? Oh my God. Okay, but yeah, so channel planning, more live streams, I think. I know there are a lot of people who want me to do more tech videos, but unless you're willing to fund like thousands of dollars for me to buy stuff, I don't think that's going to happen. So yeah, there'll be occasional still waiting on your Taylor Swift cover. And you sent it as a super chat, so I have to look at it. Thank you. Taylor Swift. Okay, look. I've been thinking about it. I could do Haunted, which is like the only Taylor Swift song I really know, because it's a bit like symphonic metal. The thing though, I'm a little bit nervous to do Taylor Swift because, I mean, my voice is different. My training, I guess, is different. She's kind of like a country singer, I think. I don't even know because like I've seen clips of her videos and I'm just like, I don't understand where this is going. Taylor Swift cover. But yeah, no, so that one is like, you and I walk a fragile line, I've known it all this time, but I never thought I'd live to see it break. It goes really low into my voice, and like I'm learning some low songs, and it's just I should really pitch shift some of them. But then it goes high, and when I went to one of my singing teachers, she said, like, you know, I was doing it in my head voice, those high notes and all that kind of stuff, and some of the mid notes as well, because, you know, it's taken me a while to push my chest voice up that high. But yeah, she's like, no, you should do that bit in chest voice or like mixed voice. Vocal terminology is so horrible. But yeah, so I've been working on that. But the next question is, where do I switch from one voice into another? Because there are some points where I don't think it sounds good for me to be doing the highs. You know, come on, don't leave me like... I have not warmed up today. I don't even know if that was the right pitch because I don't have perfect pitch and I haven't listened to it. I don't have a reference note. But it's like those high notes, what voice do I do it in? And if I do it in chest voice, I don't think it sounds nice. But if I do it in head voice, does it suit the song? Alternatively, if I take your request for a Taylor Swift cover and twist it, maybe I'll do like a metal version. It's kind of like the closest she gets to a sort of symphonic metal anyway, but hey, it would just be good if I could like make my own backing track instead of using the one that I got from somewhere on the internet that I practice with occasionally, because it's a good warm-up song, because it's like da, 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 it goes up and down in pitch. So I could do a Taylor Swift cover. I've just got to like figure out all the things to go with it. Like, how do I use my voice? Or do I use I guess it's an official backing track because it sounds like it's been mixed from the original. Or do I find a way to make my own version and just completely mess with it? Anyway. So I should write that down itself. Taylor Swift cover. So that's Steve Gary. I need to have like a little book of things that I'm planning. I feel like if I write it, it just feels better than having lots of things scattered on my computer, because like I do have notes. So I've written it down there. And maybe we'll see. Shit, now I have to do a Taylor Swift cover. Well, see, this is what happens when you comment, right? And oh my God, super chatting me. So maybe we'll see. This is now canon. Oh my God. Was yeah, like, you know, the what's gotten me onto this whole channel planning thing is that YouTube memberships kind of thing. Like, I think it's an interesting idea and it could be cute to try and get something going. And so I'm like, well, it's about community, so I should consult the people. Although like I'm too tired to really go into details, but I was thinking like we could talk about what custom emojis I try and design, and I can show you my crappy attempts, and if it all goes to shit, we'll get some professional help maybe. But yeah, but like, even what emojis, never mind me trying to design them, what emojis? And since one of the goals is like a bear costume, maybe one of the emojis can be a bear. Just stuff like that. And then thinking of a bit more about the badges. God, it takes like 2 years to get the most fancy badge, and I'm like, well, I better make it good, hey. So I had one vote for the spoon to fork to knife to whatever, to explosions, nukes, and whatever progression. Yeah, that one, I think that one would be tricky, but maybe we can pull it off. I was thinking about easy ones, and like, for me, one image that like I'm constantly drawn to as an artist. Like, even in high school, just doodling in my sketchbooks, I'd often do like eyes. And if you were like, when you look at some of the lazier badges that channels do, they usually take one image and change the color. And I was like, well, I could get an eye, and it could start off like blue. Blue's very calm, and it could progress up towards red, and maybe the 2 years one could be an eye with like a little yin yang in it. But I don't exactly know how to design that, because you can't have two white bits. Like, if the inside, hang on, the inside's black, can't have two black bits, because you would have like and it would look like this funky. Yeah, no. But my brain's still at the very early stages of that. But hey, the spoon thing, it could be kind of funny, especially because like I'm Australian, and it's like, I see you've played knifey spoony before, which is I think a Simpsons reference. Oh, I should really finish my tea, which is the Dalek cup again. And I went on a rant about the special on Facebook. It's private, unfortunately, but yeah, no, I'm just not a fan of Chibnall's writing. But unless anyone really wants me to ramble about Doctor Who, I think we'll just skip over that, because I'll have to look up what I actually wrote, because I'm just too tired to even remember. It was more watchable than other Doctor Who episodes, but there's still plenty that I'm a bit like, people are upset about Star Wars being ruined, but Doctor Who's like, hold my beer. Hey. At least, like, Star Wars, I know people didn't like. High praise. It was more. Yeah. I'm not really good at the whole sculling thing. We accidentally taught Mikey about sculling, though. I told him to finish his drink one day, and he started drinking. There was quite a bit in there, so he's just going, and I started going, skull, skull, skull. And he thought it was the best thing ever. So when he finished, it was like, he goes, skull! And yeah, I haven't repeated it that many times. Like, he sort of wanted it again another time. But yeah, no, haven't really repeated it since then. So it might not have become a habit, but he had his first run-in with the concept. For anyone new who doesn't know, Mikey is my younger disabled brother. So yeah, lots of shenanigans with him. He's been on my channel a couple of times. All right, the tea's done. But yeah, no, I think everyone most remembers the chair incident, where I told him to go get a chair, and he brought in this full-on armchair into my room. I thought he was just going to get a tiny chair. So I don't know if that video is still on my channel. It might be. Yeah, anyway. What else? Someone's messaging me on Facebook, but I will try and focus. I should probably close Facebook while I'm doing this sort of thing, but hey, just in case. No, channel planning. So I guess I'm burping, sorry. Burping internally. Anyway. Yeah, no, thinking I'll try and do more live streaming. I think ultimately we'll aim for once a week, but if I start off once a fortnight, maybe, I don't know, and then at some point a Taylor Swift cover with the one song I know. But yeah, no, so I think in terms of videos, yeah, maybe I just make like the standalone videos, the things that need editing. So like covers where I have to sync up the audio from that microphone to the video on the phone, and unboxing type stuff because I tend to move around different locations. And if I'm trying things on, it takes time between things. So yeah, that kind of stuff probably makes more sense as a video as opposed to a live stream. But when I'm just going for a ramble, maybe I try to live stream. The only thing is, like with live streams, I get sidetracked so easily. So if I want to make a video about a specific thing, I kind of just need to sit down and not have the distractions of being live, and being able to edit out stuff if I sit there going for ages going, what was I going to talk about? Which has happened sometimes in videos where I'm just like, hang on, what am I saying? What did I just say? Anyway, yeah. So what was I just saying? Videos, standalone videos, okay. But the other thing is, on the flip side, so some videos I've wanted to make, for example, revisiting the real vampire culture, I've procrastinated on because I know if I'm going to talk about vampires in a standalone video, I want to make sure I talk about like all these different points, and I'll be really annoyed with myself. You mock me, but I guess that's part of the fun. I mock myself. But anyway, yeah, no, with the vampire stuff, like if I made a specific video about vampires, I'd be super annoyed if I missed points. But I know I have a tendency to ramble and get off topic and forget where I'm up to. But I don't want to have overly scripted videos either, because I know I talk differently when I'm following a script. It doesn't feel as natural. It's better if it's just off the top of my head. But yeah, then you run the risk of tangents and missing out stuff. And so I think that's one of the reasons I've procrastinated on making vampire videos, which I know a lot of people wanted from me like way back. Just because there's so much planning involved and I've been so busy, and it's like, when do I have time to sit down and actually plan some of these videos? So maybe I'm better off just doing live streams. And I think live streams are probably the closest to like how my channel used to be, in terms of me just like, jumping on random and making a 10-minute video, because that's what the limit used to be. Making multiple videos a day, except instead of that, I make one gigantic long video as a live stream. Basically just off the top of my head stuff without, overly planning it. And I mean, I'm not a proper YouTuber where they have scripts and fancy production and all that. So yeah, maybe like write out some bullet points in regards to preparing for interviews. That's how I used to do it with bands and politicians. Yeah, I probably should have bullet points. So like one thing I was thinking is, like with live streams, if I can get myself into more of a routine, then like at the moment, I kind of like, when I'm writing my description, my title for live streams, I just like, okay, what am I thinking about right now? Okay, that'll be my title. Even though I have no idea what I'm going to be talking about, because it kind of depends on you guys what tangents I get on. But yeah, if I can get into more of a habit with that, maybe I start doing live streams where like we've got a specific topic, and hopefully you guys ask me questions about that topic instead of throwing it all off into some other tangent. But if we have like maybe themed live streams, and that might be a way to get through some of the things I want to talk about, but without feeling too restricted and being interactive. I mean, it's all kind of interactive in a way, because there's still the comment section, but it's a different thing with live chat, I guess. And then with live streams, I guess I feel like I can ramble for ages and ages and ages, especially because I don't have to upload it. Like it's going up in real time. um, you know, trying to, like, if I have to edit something, well, then I have to render it, and that takes time. And then I have to upload it from Australian internet, and it's just like, oh, all these things that take time. So, yeah. And, you know, if I was going to do the vampire thing, it'd probably end up this huge series. And it's just like, oh my God, there's so much. There's so much in there. Because I found, well, hopefully Facebook hasn't gone and hidden them again, but I found a whole bunch of the vampire interviews I used to do with people who were part of that culture. I haven't read over them. We could read them together maybe and see what the hell it was like, because I barely remember any of that stuff. But I remember like the concepts in the culture, I guess. So yeah, and sort of thinking about that kind of stuff. If we have themed live streams, if I can get into more of this pattern, and then I guess just generally try and make my channel more active. Because like at the moment I've got 2 casual jobs, but one of them, my other job, not the bonsai job, the other job might not last, because there's lots of things changing. So yeah, then I'll have more time. Although, like, it depends. I might have to find another job, and if I do, then, you know, like, it's just that uncertainty. I don't know what times I'll have free, but that's the thing. It would be nice if I could spend more time making content on YouTube, and also like just my creative life in general. But yeah, we'll see how things go. But at the moment things seem okay, so I'll try and, like, you know, get into more of a habit and stuff. Yeah, and we'll see how things go. Is there any public funding available for independent documentaries? If so, you can use that system to get more creative projects going. You know, saying like there's grants for all kinds of creative stuff, but because I'm not really consistent with it and not really high quality either, you know, it doesn't feel like the kind of thing that I would be successful in. We looked at well, mostly arts grants when I was at art school, and like there's all this stuff you have to go through to justify why they should give you the money as opposed to someone else. And I'm a realist. I'm not going to get those grants. The other thing is, with a lot of the grants in Australia for creative stuff, they often want you to do like Australia centric content. So whether you look at like specific Australian cultural things or Australian history or whatever. And like, I don't know, I mean, they cram all this Aussie stuff into you in primary school. And by the end of primary school, I'm already over it. And then you do more in high school. And it's just like, oh my God. Yeah, so I just have Aussie fatigue in terms of some of that stuff. Like, oh, anyway. It's probably worse at my school because we also did like the history of religion in Australia, but specifically looking at Christian stuff because it was a Catholic school. So yeah, there's that added bonus. But yeah, I'm not into Australiana type stuff. So I'm not going to get any of these grants. And it's like with music grants as well. It's usually mainstream music they're talking about. Aboriginal people have their own vampire moving through then in Westerners. I don't think that would pass. It's just not, it's not how those grants kind of work. And also, like, it would help if I had some kind of clout within that community of creative people, which I don't. I keep to myself. I'm not really a hanging out with people kinds of thing. Like, oh, one of the hardest things about art school was going to like art galleries and gallery openings and so on, because like it's just not my scene. You know, you stand around with some wine, I don't drink alcohol, and some cheese, maybe if you're lucky, which like, where's the cheese? And it's probably not the cheese I like either. And you kind of just talk to people because, like, you know, when you look at an exhibition, if you really wanted to overanalyze something, you could stand at a painting for a while, or like a photograph or whatever. If it's a video, you might spend a bit longer, but even the videos, people just walk straight past them. You know, you look at them for 5 seconds. Oh yeah, cool. And then the rest of the opening is just people trying to talk to each other. And it's not me. Whereas like I'm more of a music kind of person. So I go to a metal gig and you might talk to people for a bit. It's loud though, so that's tricky. And then the music starts, and then I'm up the front, at least before COVID. I'm up the front and I'm moshing. Um, when I had my dreads, I was hitting people in the face with them if they got too close because it's just like hair going everywhere. Um, yeah, that's more fun. Like, I can get into it. You can feel like the music. I'm not into like live streamed performances because it doesn't have that atmosphere, I guess. But anyway, no, the point being, if I'm going to mix with someone, it'll usually, like in those kinds of groups, it's usually music. But unfortunately, the music that I like is kind of underground. Like, it's not hugely popular. There is a decent metal community in Sydney, or there was last time I went out into it. But yeah, like it's not like pop music. And anytime those grants come out, it tends to be for more popular forms of music or like art music. The art world is more about people doing the art than the art. Yeah, there's a lot of like personality and also fashion. And the idea is if you buy an artwork from someone who's famous, you hope that the value of the artwork will go up as they get more famous. That's what drives a lot of it. Hey, Raw Riffs! You! I know you were sending me a message on Facebook. Ah. Yes. Okay, cool. We'll do the video Friday morning, guys. Friday morning. Don't know what time yet. I might actually be asleep because I might schedule it, but Friday morning, a new cover, and we've just sort of spilled the beans. It's another collab. Ooh! I'm so tired. I'm going a little bit mental. But anyway, yeah, no. Tomorrow, I'm not doing anything really. Tomorrow's Thursday. Thursday's my recovery from bonsai day. I just wanted to look up some vids and saw you were streaming. Yeah. Woo! Yeah, no, Thursdays, I tend not to plan anything. The only thing I've got going tomorrow is like I've got to learn another song, maybe 2 songs for an audition, and that's about it. But like start learning because it takes me a few days to like absorb it into my brain. So I'll probably just play it on loop while I'm doing other stuff. So the video is almost done. There's just a few little things, and then I'll render it. I'm loving this computer. I'm doing these ones in DaVinci Resolve, but I still use HitFilm for other stuff. Like there's another music thing I'm working on that I've been doing in HitFilm. I've still got to film more stuff for it. Oh my god! So I'm doing this project with a dude overseas, and it's just like all I had to do was sing. I didn't have to write any of the lyrics or anything. I interpreted what he'd wrote a little bit, but he wrote everything. So like the perfect kind of, as far as originals collabs go, that's what I want, is like you write me the part. If I like it, I'll sing it for you, and then it's done. Okay, so it should be really easy. But we decided to make a video, and of course I got carried away because then I was like, here come some ideas. So yeah, whoops. So that's taking me so long. Yeah, and I've still got more stuff I want to film for it, and then like the editing, and I've actually learned some interesting editing tricks. So yeah, we'll see. I mean, it might still look a bit silly and amateurish because I'm not a professional editor or anything, but I'm pretty proud of what I've managed to learn from tutorials online. But anyway, no, DaVinci Resolve rendering is just like boom. It usually does like the fans speed up at the start and then it chills out again. Like, I don't understand why. Like, wouldn't you, as you render, wouldn't the graphics card get hotter and then need more cooling? But I don't know. I don't know how this stuff works. Yeah, but it's really fast. It's faster rendering than HitFilm. Just there are some things in DaVinci Resolve that I find more difficult than HitFilm. Yeah, just I guess because it's new and getting my head around it. So yeah, that's why I'm doing the other video, because it's so complicated. I'm doing it in HitFilm just so that like it's easier for me to do all the different bits and pieces. So yeah, 2 different video programs I've got to know how to do in my head, and sometimes I use the wrong shortcuts, but it's not for anything too bad. Anyway, yeah. So, oh my god, my life just got so busy all of a sudden. I'm doing so much music at the moment, and it's good. It's just like I've got to keep on top of the time management. And I mean, trying to record stuff. So when did I record When did I record the next cover? Was that on Monday? Oh, I don't even remember what day it is. Like, that's how tired I am. No, was that yesterday? Tuesday. Oh, what's today? Today's Wednesday. So yeah, I recorded that yesterday. Um, because my mom and my you want to see a Taylor Swift cover? Yeah, let's do a collab on Taylor Swift. We'll turn her into metal. The most metal song. You've missed that part, but are we talking about Haunted? Um, it's almost like symphonic metal, except kind of not. It's still a bit more cheerful, except she's talking about a breakup. I don't even. But yeah, no, we can turn Taylor Swift into metal if you're up for it. Because I was just thinking, like, do I do it with the original backing track that I've got, or do I try and hodgepodge together some kind of more metal backing track and potentially growl some of it, which I think I've joked about before. Um, but because it's so weird, like even though it's female vocals, it's different from my voice. So like trying to decide where I switch into different registers, I don't know, and I feel like I need to record it a few different ways and figure that out. But if we change it up, that's another thing. That's the only Taylor Swift song I know though. I asked on social media like years back, is all Taylor Swift stuff like this, or is this a trap? And everyone said it's a trap. That'd actually be pretty funny. I can make a metal drum track for it and see how it goes. Oh my god. Oh my god. This could be like yeah, if you're up for it, I'm game. We can work on something. That'll be fun. Um Wow. Yeah, guys, if you haven't checked out Raw Riff's channel, you should, especially if you're into like metal guitars and stuff, because like, yeah, wow. I really like your stuff. Like, yeah, and also being organized as well. Cause like there's people I've worked with who just aren't on the ball. And I know like over I've been a bit slow because like Christmas and New Year and people being around and the lockdown, well, the lockdown didn't really affect us much except like we stayed home a lot more. So yeah, I feel like I've dropped the ball a little bit. But yeah, no, yesterday my brother went out, my mum went out, and dad was just working upstairs. The dogs were a little bit noisy, barking at a dog like a few fences over. There's a new puppy, I think, and we could hear it yapping. But I managed to get them to be quiet and closed all the doors and was just like, okay, I've got to do some takes. I wasn't sure if I was actually going to get it done yesterday, but that last take was actually okay. Before I like collapsed everything, I don't know. Some of you guys might have seen on my Facebook, I was rocking out too much. Ah, yeah, no, legit. Because like organization in music is really hard to find. That's one of the things. Like I've been trying to find a band for a while, but so many people just aren't organized. And like that's the first step. And if you want to get gigs, you kind of need to be organized. And if you want to get opportunities, like say a big band rolls in and they want your band to support them, but you aren't any good at like organization, communication, getting your shit together, you miss out on the opportunity, right? It's one of the things about the like music, well, musicians, I don't know, there's a lot of them who just don't, that they're all about being a rock star but don't think about the background stuff. And that's why I keep ending up the band mom, and I really don't want to be the band mom in the next thing I do. But my mom is like, yeah, but you know, you'll just do that by default anyway. And I'm like, no, it's not true. The minimum I want though is like a band who can write the music side of things. I can write vocals fine, but the music side, I really struggle. If they can at least do that, I don't mind doing management type stuff. Yeah, Steve, you might have band mom and then have them do the mummy. Oh. Well, see, the other, like, the dangerous thing about that is what if the person who wants to be the band mom is incompetent? Then we have a different kind of a problem. So, yeah. I'm getting a little bit cold now, but do I turn off the aircon, or will that just bring back the humidity? Or do I have the aircon on and then put my hand tan on and just, you know, be an energy and efficient nutcase? Ugh, this weather is just driving me mental. Like I like that it's not 40 degrees, but I don't know, I've been thinking about getting into live shows, maybe filling in for some bands here and there. Ooh, that would be fun. Yeah, I would totally do a band with you if you're up for it. But if it's not your thing, but you could do like maybe like the session muso or the fill-in muso kind of thing. There's other ways to get on stage without the extra commitment and like all the stress that goes with being in a band. The environment wants you to turn off the aircon. Yeah, well, I want the environment to give me some nuclear power in Australia, but they won't give me that. Some Taylor Damn, now we're definitely doing this Taylor Swift one way or another. But yeah, no, we'll be good if we can have some metal guitars instead of me trying to mishmash electronic thing together, like the Going Undercover. That's me playing guitar, but fortunately, it's just like what is it? Chug, chug, chug to chug. That's my skill level. The solo though, I was in MIDI because I can't do. God bless you. Oh my god. Oh my god. But yeah, no, so this was the point I was making before, guys. If you don't ask, you're not gonna get. And Steve Austin now looks like we're getting there. I think I'm 50-50 on making a band. I often find myself having some spare time here and there that I could potentially fill in. Yeah, I mean, like it is a big commitment, but for me, like with music, the most fun is being on stage, which I know for other musicians isn't necessarily the case. I talked to like some friends about, hey, do you want to start a band? But they're kind of just happy doing their own thing. So yeah, because like I know some good musicians, it's just they're either taken or not interested. But yeah, no, for me, getting on stage is the fun, like the best part. Although like, just singing in my room is fun, but being on stage is a whole other thing because I think I'm not a hugely emotional person. I guess I can get animated on camera, which is me essentially talking to myself in a room, which is kind of weird. But anyway, no, I'm not a hugely emotional person. And, I've had so much depression in my life that I think that sort of numbed things for me. And like, I don't experience a whole lot of excitement. Like, I remember when I was a kid being about to go on a roller coaster ride and actually having that kind of like, but as an adult, if I go on a roller coaster ride, I'm kind of just like, shoot, hey. Although last time I went on one, maybe I did feel something. Maybe it's the depression, like, has lifted. Like, I'm not depressed anymore, but I've sort of gone through a sort of meh kind of default. I've been doing better the last year or so. Anyway, point being, there's not a lot of things that can make me feel like, and fun and happy, maybe even. Like, can I be happy? Me? Maybe. So on stage, I mean, before getting on stage, I am super anxious, especially when I haven't performed in ages, and I didn't perform at all last year. I didn't do any live performance because bloody coronavirus came along. So yeah, next time I perform, that'll be interesting. But like, I get anxious and I have to pee like three times before I actually get up there. But once I'm on stage, it's like the adrenaline kind of thing, and you like get into it, try not to fuck up anything, and then I get off stage and I'm like, all right guys, let's get some Coca-Cola in me. And I know as a singer, like, thankfully I'm not on tour, so I can actually run around like an idiot afterwards and I have time for my voice to recover. I mean, if you're on tour to preserve your voice, you should really not be talking much before and after the show. But no, after the show, if you try and talk to me before I've gone on stage, you won't get much out of me. But if you try and talk to me after I've been on stage and had all that adrenaline, I'm like, yeah, now I'm a social butterfly. Although usually like right after the stage, if we're talking about those open mics where I scream at an unsuspecting, yeah, I don't drink alcohol, so for me it's Coca-Cola. And also people think I'm heaps younger than I am, so like the place that I was doing open mics at, like, I think I did like a birthday gig. It was my birthday, and yeah, so I went up with my drink ticket for performing, and the guy at the bar was like, so how old are you? I asked for a Coke, and he's like, so how old are you? And happy birthday. And I said, oh yeah. I must have been 30. Yeah, that was probably 2 years ago. Oh, or maybe just, I don't know when I did that performance. But yeah, and he's like, really? I thought you were like just 18 or like, oh my god. Drinking water. Yeah, drinking water. It's cheap. alcohol is so expensive. Anytime I look at that kind of stuff, I'm like, yeah, I think I made a good choice. But also, I don't, well, I have a lot of reasons for not drinking alcohol. One of them is I don't trust myself. I have this paranoia about if I don't stay in control of what I'm doing, fuck knows what'll happen. But also, like, I've had a lot of depression. Alcohol is technically a depressant. Um, so there's that. Also, I'm half Asian, and I know my brother and my mum, well, I think Dave's not too bad, but they go bright red very quickly, and mum at least pretends to be drunk very quickly if she has, like, a friend gave her an advent calendar with chocolates that have like the tiniest bit of alcohol in them, and I think she was pretending to get drunk on that. But like, I think I don't know if it's Asian in general, if it's just Japanese, but I think the liver processes things differently. And so, like, if you've got that particular genetics, I don't know that it's all of Asia or all of Japan, but it's more common, I guess, that you just can't process that stuff as easily. And like, if you consider, I also, my problems with medication, like I always react to them too badly. Um, clearly there's something weird about the way my body processes stuff. So it's probably a good idea that I haven't, I've really gotten on the alcohol bandwagon. I think, like, what, I've had a few sips of church wine. And that's probably about, maybe I would have tried a sip of beer and instantly been like, ew, why does anyone drink this? I'm pretty small, guy, so alcohol hits me pretty fast. Yeah, I don't know how I would react because I've never tried enough. But my thing is, like, okay, you can get alcohol that tastes like Coca-Cola or is mixed with it, and then there's like the more sugary kinds of ones. But in that case, why wouldn't I just have a Coca-Cola? Save myself the extra money and just have a Coca-Cola and go running around the venue high on sugar and adrenaline. Um church wine. So basically no, they actually have wine, but I think it's non-alcoholic. But it's been like ages. I grew up in the Catholic Church. Oh, I missed one of you. I haven't had a drink for years. Yeah. Yeah, no, I just don't. I don't see the appeal. I mean, other people can if they want to, but I'm not driving you home because I will have caught public transport because parking in the city is terrible. Um, Anyway, yeah. No, I grew up Catholic. I went to a Catholic school for 13 years, a Catholic private girls' school. Really not my environment. So, I didn't really get into metal until I left school and actually had access to something other than Evanescence and what Limp Bizkit, Lincoln Park. That's probably all I could find in school. I told my year 8 teachers, my year 8 music teachers, that I was never going to do music again, and now look at me. Although at that time, I didn't really know that musical growling was a thing. So, they could have kept me interested, but no. And I was playing violin at the time, and now I can't play violin, or I can, but my jaw hurts, like ever since the whole braces thing. Ah. Anyway, I've really gone off topic with this live stream. I was going to talk about what we're doing with the channel, although I suppose Taylor Swift is part of the plan now. More live streams, more Taylor Swift, more covers. I've been practicing. So some of the, like, I've got auditions with 3 bands now, and one of them I'm learning a bunch of covers for, and so, like, I don't know if I will get into the band or not, but since I'm learning them anyway, maybe I'll cover them. The only thing is, like, at the moment I'm covering them in their normal pitch, but like, one of them's a Slipknot song and it's right at the bottom of my register. And I think even, like, if I try and sing all of it, I don't always get the very bottom note, like it sort of dies in my voice. So if I do cover that, I might have to shift the pitch up. And I think I could still do it in chest voice. I wouldn't have to flip. But yeah, I might have to do some pitch shifting, and if I do that, then I probably do have to program my own backing track. Just because, like, you can pitch shift the backing track, but it usually sounds like crap. So yeah, there's some stuff like that where it's just like, I don't know if this would really work out in my voice. This is the thing, like, when people ask me to do some music stuff, is sometimes they really don't think about whether or not it's adaptable to my voice. So and that one is like borderline, can I do it? So like there was a band I joined before lockdown, just before lockdown, and some of the songs they wanted me to do, it was for their past singer who is a very high fry screamer, which is very different to what I do. And just like some of the songs I could not pull off. It's just like there's too much being done in a single breath and no logical place for me to take a breath for my false chord vocals. The high stuff I could get because I guess being a guy and having a high fry scream is a bit like me being a girl having a high false chord. Like it's not that hard to push it up there. Although that band, like, it didn't work out, but it did give me a lot of practice to really get into this sound. It's nice making progress with my vocals. But yeah, some of the stuff they were wanting me to do is just like, this is not how my voice works. you know? But yeah, no, there was some stuff that was fun, like doing low growls, because I don't think their old vocalist ever did low growls. So I think the bass player used to fill in the low growls. And when I did it for myself in the thing is like, oh, you don't really need me. But it was fun having the two of us do low growls because then you get that extra like brr. But yeah, no, it's just a shame they went in a different direction and it's not a direction I could follow. Like in terms of joining a band, I'm being very careful about what I join because my last live band, Rainbow Death Ray, I've talked about this before. I really burned myself out, and so I'm trying not to repeat those mistakes. Yeah, anyway, how did I get onto that topic? Oh, I'm so terrible when I just go on a ramble, but yeah, no, I'm doing so much music at the moment. But yeah, no, so with the, like, audition learning covers, it's fine, like, I think I'm learning 3 covers for them, and I don't mind because I might be able to adapt it later into something for this channel and show you guys, so that'd be kind of fun, and it's fun learning new stuff, new material, because I, especially not going to many live gigs for ages now, I find music easier to enjoy when I'm in a band and also when I'm going to live gigs, and neither of them has been happening. If I tried listening to stuff on Spotify to just, be exposed to newer music, but I just can't get into. I mean, Spotify is a terrible platform anyway, but I thought at least if I can discover something, maybe. But yeah, no, listening to unfamiliar music, I really need to listen to a song a lot before I properly enjoy it. Like, there might be something in there that I'm like, "Oh, yeah, this is heavy." But, I need to have a bit more of that connection, and I think I need to get to a point where I can sing bits of it. And maybe that's why I'm a vocalist, is I just connect to that singing, like, the sound coming from me as well as the speakers. It's not just music coming at me, it's me participating maybe. This is starting to get a bit like Art Wanky kind of talk, but yeah, no. Um, yeah. So learning more songs, I think, is making me feel more connected to music and like doing more covers. Yeah, it's fun getting into it. I do have some originals to learn as well, which, like, one of them's pretty easy. If I have the lyric sheet there, that's pretty easy. The timing's not too difficult. The other one I haven't looked at a lot, and I think it's not fully written, so I need to adapt a few things. But yeah, no, it's kind of fun working on other people's stuff as well. Not having the pressure of writing it, but like adapting what they've written to my voice, kind of interesting. Um, yeah, wow, I'm doing so much music at the moment, and I think it's good. Maybe that's why I'm in a better mood lately. Because yeah, I mean, have I quit painting forever? Probably not, but definitely for the moment. So my focus, like a new visual arts, not really my thing. So my focus, music, YouTube, bonsai. I think that's a good little set of things. Yeah. So I could do, I suppose, more of my own bonsai, but yeah, it takes a while for things to grow. Oh, I haven't shown you guys that one that I did on the plastic rock. I'll have to film that at some point. And there's those videos I keep telling you guys I haven't edited yet because there's too much. Paint, yes. Do I have any paintings? Oh, I'd have to grab them off the walls. I can't be bothered to mess with the camera. But yeah, no, I've got some art. I actually did a master of art. So I've got a bachelor's degree in music and a master's degree in art. And Yeah, I really set myself up for a prosperous life, didn't I? But at least it doesn't make me depressed. So that's a thing. Because I did try other degrees, and it was just like, why am I here? What is the meaning of life? So, yeah. Um, but so I've done a bit of painting. Where can you find those? Probably. Oh, I didn't put them on DeviantArt because I haven't updated that in ages. I think there's some on my website. There's some on social media. I don't know. I'm sorry. Oh, but yeah, painting, like, I wouldn't say I'm great at it, but there's some stuff where I'm like, "Oh, it actually does look like a thing." Um, uh, I used to do a bit more photography, but ever since my proper lens screwed up, I just never got around to repairing it. Like, I got the little bit and I've got the soldering as long as you're happy, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's been rough. I did the art degree while I was depressed, kind of like as a therapy because I knew I needed to keep doing stuff. And when I have deadlines, like external deadlines and assignments and stuff, I just do it. So, it was something like, and it was weird because often, like, I'd start a new university degree thinking this will be the thing that'll fix me, and then a semester in realize it's not for me and quit. But this one, I went into it thinking, well, life's shit anyway. I might as well just do something. And I made it all the way through. So, yay. But so, like, the first semester, like, there were 4 semesters because it's a master's degree, don't have to go on for that long. But, like, yeah, I did some painting subjects. There's some that were a bit more sculptural subjects. I tried to avoid using any workshops though, because then you have to book it. And then let's say I decide I want to do sculpture and then I leave the university and then I don't have access to that equipment anymore. So I figured I'd try and do stuff that I could potentially do after uni in case I, really got into it. The one exception was jewelry design. Um, because like that setup is insane. I would have to hire a place to go do that and play with fire. Maybe that's why I enjoyed it because I was playing with fire. Anyway, yeah, no, I did all like the normal kinds of visual art stuff, and the design department and kind of comes into that as well. But for my final semester, that like I recovered from depression just before my final semester, and I was sitting there going like, wow, I'm really not an art person. Art really isn't my thing. I don't really fit in here and I don't want to do this. So for my final project, I went to the professor and I was like, I'm going to do music. And he's like, yep. So my solo project actually came out of my degree. And instead of doing like art, I did music. And so you can imagine in this art studio when we had work in progress presentations, I actually because it's an art school, if you're doing a presentation, you can make your presentation be anything. It doesn't have to be in a normal spoken format. So what I did is I made YouTube videos. So I think on the second YouTube video I played for them, it's still on YouTube somewhere. I think I've got a playlist called like Asexual Music Project or something. I picked that topic because I knew it would go down well at uni. Bit cynical of me, but hey, it worked. And it's not non-genuine. It's just like not something I want to revisit. But anyway, I played the second video for them, and at the end I edited in my backing track, which is like might have been the first song that I had fully finished, but it's also the one where I do growling and stuff. So I'm playing it for the class in this big echoey art studio, and then it comes on and it's like it's all this growling, and I had to do it a cappella, like because it's an art studio, they don't have a mic or anything. So I'm in the middle of this huge art studio just screaming at my class. And then you could see these people from down the hallway popping their head in like, what's going on here? So I was performing You Won't, which is, yeah, probably the most fun for me from that EP. Yeah, I was performing that a cappella. Probably overdid my voice a bit because I was trying to project into the space. So I would only do that one off. It's not something I would do a lot. And at the end of it, the professor's like, so is anyone going to tell her to change anything after that? And for every assignment, he gave me 1 mark off 100%. So yeah, overall, I got like 97 out of 100 for that subject. Just screaming. And like, I just missed out on meeting the guy who did Pauline Pants Down in the 90s. I think he was on leave, but he works there. But yeah, no. So I went to art school, decided I wasn't really into art, and then did music for my final thing. Yeah. So I'm definitely more into the music world than the art world. The art world, I can't, if I decide I'm going to paint something or make stuff, like I've got concepts that kind of float around in my head for art I could do, but can't be bothered to. And the process of painting just stresses me out, and I don't feel like there's the same payoff as with music. Like, I'm struggling with that mix yesterday, right? So like with painting, sorry to everyone who I'm being repetitive, but like with painting, so many details, and it looks shit to me the entire time, and so I'm constantly fixing all the errors. Um, and then eventually you stand back and, oh yeah, it looks good. So with the mix, it's kind of like that. Is I spent so long and my ears were just like, what even is happening anymore? Like, can we even hear the difference between the two mixes? And yeah, but at the end, it's actually fun, and it's something I might replay to myself later on, instead of a painting being against the wall that just fades into the background because it's there every day and there's nothing too exciting about it. Um, do a Bob Ross style video. I've actually never watched any of that, so I don't really know how it works. But I guess we could paint together. Let's paint a thing. But see, the thing is, it takes me like hours. Like the result might be okay, but I'm nowhere near as fast as like proper professional type painters. And also, I use acrylics, like cheap student acrylics, so it's really hard to get the color right because as they dry, they change color. I think they get darker with cheap student acrylics. I've got like a black and a white that are proper, more professional grade. But it gets expensive. And then like I sold one artwork a while back, and I probably should have charged more for it because of the effort that went into it, and it was kind of 3D anyway, and it had all these electronics in it. Shit, I never made that video. I have footage of that too at some point. Um, but yeah, it doesn't have the same feeling. Like, I don't know who bought this artwork because it was at the local gallery at a thing, and that's it. It's gone. At least with music, like, people might come to a show and we can all do the same song again and rock out together. But yeah, art, it's done, and then what? People look at it for a bit, and for me, it's not really enough. Um, really, till you paint a clear white coat over the canvas and then a picture over it. It's all wet on wet. With acrylic dries really fast. You sure it's not oil wet on wet? I don't know. Like, you'd probably, unless you're working very quickly. Otherwise, you'd need some kind of, what do they call it? Is it not a is it a medium, or you need some kind of like agent that'll slow down the drying time. So I remember some stuff about painting. I did do oil painting one time. It's awful. It smells, and sometimes you just have to let the layers dry. Like I painted a picture of hope and stupidly did the underpainting in red, and when I tried to paint white back over it, it just turned pink. So I had to wait for it to all dry and then come back with white. Um, it's cute in the end. And some people sometimes see it from like, an angle and think it's a photo until they get closer. I can see I can see every mistake in it, and I look at it going, oh my God, I wish I could change that. But outside my head, or if I sort of stand back a bit, it actually looks not too bad. Um, is the thing, being a perfectionist is just, it's horrible. That's one of the reasons that I do my covers in one take, because if it's in one take, I can't sit there being a perfectionist. Like for my studio stuff, for like my EPs, okay, fine, I will sit there and comp it together. But for these videos and stuff, it works better for me in the video format because like it's just me. All you can really do if you're going to cut things together is different angles of me, and I've only got one camera that I can move around. Like this camera is no good for doing covers. It's like terrible quality, and yeah, no. So I've only got one thing that I can do the angle from, and so like doing cuts would be weird. But yeah, the main thing, an extra take. Oh, my connection is unstable. Please wait while we try to connect you. Did I drop out for a moment there? Ah! Ah! I think I'm okay now. Alright, alright. If like, you know, someone tell me things are okay. With my connection. Anyway, yeah, maybe that's Australian internet or I don't know. Who even knows? But yeah, no, so like with my covers, I think for Going Under I did that in one take, but that's a pretty staple kind of song. Um let's stutter for a second, all good now, all good now. Thanks guys. Yeah, I don't know what that was about. But yeah, no, if I do it in one take, maybe do a second take or whatever. Hey, yeah, no worries. We'll finish on the video tomorrow and then upload on Friday morning. Yeah, what was I talking about? So yeah, there's still an element of perfectionism because if I really screw up a take, if there's too much going wrong, then I'll scrap it. Or if like I start a take and like something in my voice fumbles, I won't even finish the take. I'll just go back and start again. There's some of that, but it's not the painstaking like I've got to stitch together every bit and hope that there's something in here that is, you know, as close to perfect as I can make it. So yeah, doing covers in one take. It's a better way for me to just get it done instead of, you know, taking forever. So yeah, perfectionism is terrible. And I guess that's the thing about live streaming is it doesn't have to be perfect, right? So we should try and do more live streams and it'll be a bit more like how my channel used to be in terms of me just getting online and being like, "Hey, um yeah." I just had a little my brain went a little bit blank there. Oh, I think because I'm tired. I said I'd only be on here for 1 hour, and it's now been an hour and 20 minutes. So I didn't get to watch Angel last night because that's what I was doing. I was mixing. I got carried away mixing, and so I didn't get to watch Angel. And I was also was yesterday the day that I was talking to the other band. I don't even remember what I did yesterday. Like I don't know if this is a pandemic thing or if it's just my life and my brain, but what even is today and yesterday and tomorrow? Wibbly wobbly, timey wimey. So I think I will sign off unless someone has a pressing comment question. This is your last chance. Because now people are walking around as well. Yeah, no, last chance to leave a comment, get me on a tangent. Otherwise, I think I'll wrap it up and we'll see if we can live stream same time next week. Otherwise, next fortnight. I was going to talk more about planning the channel, but yeah, got carried away as usual. But as I said, if we can get into this habit, maybe we have themed live streams. Eventually, we'll see how we go. We need to get into a bit of a rhythm. And then, yeah, we can talk more about how this channel is going to go later. But what episode am I up to? I'm on season 5. Smile time. That sounds ominous. So, yeah. All right. If no one has anything else to say, I'm going to go. I really need to go pee, so I'll do that first. And then... oh, it's Dad. Good night, Dad. I think that's a good note to end on. So, yeah, I'll watch Angel. I'm getting close to finishing it, and then maybe I can move on with my life. It's been good. It's season 4 was a lot better than I remember. But anyway, I'm not going to get on another tangent. So going for real now. Maybe I'll see you guys next week. But definitely Friday morning, new cover coming. So yeah, be ready for that. Friday morning Sydney time. Bye guys. Oh, yes.